still vassal slaves.
Hello and welcome back for our next episode of Not for Broadcast.
We're only getting started.
Continue. I have to say, my first look at this, I was quite impressed. It's very clever what they've done. Now we are still continuing on story mode. Should just point that out. You arrive home after another long shift to find a note waiting for you on the countertop. Chris has been evicted for not paying rent. You know where this is headed. So I'm confused. Is our other half Sam? Is she pissed with us, or? Best dad ever. It's gone midnight and there's no sign of Charlie or Sam. It's school night and he promised, so you go over there and march him home. Arriving at the friend's house, you find your son, who marks you notice the time when he sees you. Day 15. No, wait. Day 40 something? Height Christmas. You can't help but crack a smile as you look around the table. You're sitting at the head of the table now. It's been tense. Everyone can feel it. It's the first time you've seen Chris since you refused to part with your passport. You make a toast. Chin chin. Chris is still taking umbrage. Chris turns away from you, taking some frustration out on a cheap cut of roast chicken. Happy Holidays achievement unlocked. Now back to work. You're leafing through a pile of accumulated posts. Each new bill pull on your gut like a lead. Wait until a flash of blue makes you pause. Recognizing the teal advance logo on the envelope, you tear it open. Dear Winston residents, thank you for sending us your passports for approval. You can now confirm their receipt and validation for the new Assets and Wealth Redemption Scheme. Hopefully this will make the last month of arguments with Sam worth it. Wait, what? When did we send passports for Anton? Someone been doing something wrong. As such, it is our pleasure to close a check which we hope you will see as a symbol not only of our gratitude to you, but of our unwavering commitment to creating a society free of inequality. I'm not sure what this has to do with this game at all. Like, it's weird. Long weekend. Why does the zip on this damn case never close? It's your anniversary. Every year you and Sam go away for the weekend. Usually camping. You're not made of money. No kids, no work. Just a bit of romances, peace and quiet. The zip finally gives up the battle and you drag the bulging suitcase downstairs. Good evening, Alex. Mr. Bozeman. I'm calling to inform you that you'll be required to work this weekend. Bollocks to that. 8 AM on a... What are you going to tell Sam? Ignore the message. Damn right. Try your time. You're going to pay for it on Monday. Nope. Your boss cannot give you last minute notice to work on a weekend. As your man on TikTok would say, that's the law and that's the fact. When you get to work Monday morning, you get some sour looks from your exhausted colleagues. Note sits waiting for you. The immaculate script is blood red. I'm very disappointed, Winston. Was it worth it? Hell yeah. '98. A permission slip. When are we going to get to actually do some work? Charlie hovers at your elbow as you read. Do you find yourself striving to achieve? Are you an active member of the team? Do you like reaping the benefits of cooperation? Join the advanced go-getters today. This doesn't sound like the U club he told you about. So I can walk there straight from school, and Ben's sister can drop us home after, so you won't have to do anything. This could only be a good thing, or can it? Well, we'll have to wait and see. After a particularly long day at work. Hold on, when are we actually going to get to work here? We're now up to day 110 and we haven't done any actual work. What's this? You come home to find... yeah. But a letter with the increasingly familiar advance logo. Urgent, respond immediately, plastered on the front. Don't know what's going on here now. Every household will become a partner in one of 3 carefully selected institutions. Eye of the beholder. Neil's Deals Limited. It's always a steal from Crazy Neil. Pleasure Corp. When do we get back to the studio? This is amazing. We're getting paid for work that we're not actually doing. Or are we? You step out of your old car in silence. Teenage rebellion. As you approach the front desk, you feel physically sick. Oh, we're picking up the kids from the Pope Hole office, I think. Eventually, after what seems like an eternity, your daughter is brought out by an officer with a kind face. Oh, graffiti. Susie refuses to say a word. Grant. Who is Susie hanging out with? Blah blah blah. Next. Seriously, are we still not going to get to go back to the broadcast studio? I know I'm playing story mode, but still. Tempest. Don't believe it. We're actually back working. What now, Dave?
Good evening, Alex. It's Boozman here.
Mr.
Your
Boozman.
boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show. Toodle pip. My God.
Toodle pip. Did he actually say toodle pip? Oh, check power. Do.
Wait, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
Do. Second break.
Probably a really awful date.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move of a silent resistance movement? And what would that mean as we go into the future?
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
While both options are still on the table, support seems to be growing for a daring escape attempt. If a group of fungus experts can't fix the most advanced craft ever conceived by man, then who can?
LaBeouf avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehugs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle, as only 7 children were horribly injured by the lethal toy. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Julia Salisbury, who mobilised numerous government resources to recall the product immediately after the first blindings, said today that new advanced marks, which must be earned by all new products, would be a 100% ironclad guarantee of safety and quality.
Table for 2. Johnny Hamsleeves and Tiffany Lamour were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating late last year, and this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime team partner
Where did he come up with
Tina
these
Cunningham
names?
last year in a wrestling ring made entirely of cake?
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sport?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Remington's Fist CEO Sophia Remington today announced a brand new product that already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today, though its critics are skeptical that the young CEO can fulfill her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of its time, the male contraceptive pill is heralding a sexual revolution. Its fans are celebrating the fact that men can finally take equal responsibility for contraception, but others have expressed concerns over its safety and side effects.
With that exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon live at the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's
National Nightly News. But first tonight, while advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, who've seen their wealth and standards of living increase considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
I mean,
No,
you've already
she's
done
in the
it, so it's
Philippines.
fine.
No iron, no nothing.
Brilliant, thank you.
no.
As soon as possible.
To come to terms with the new regime.
Oh,
Robin Short
oopsie.
is in suburbia investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan. I'm here in Moderate Hatchings to talk to Wentworth and Penelope Somerset Bentley, who were relocated to the house you see behind me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Well, quite frankly, Robin, we're not settling in at all. Our neighbours are whitewatters.
It's simply untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but it's as steaming as a Wednesday hatch basket with too much spatting.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry, Robin, my sister's under a lot of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered, Robin.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with women's, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big house.
Big house? This grubby little gaddispatch only has one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room are the same.
Not sure
bloody
which
place.
word that was.
Imagine that, having all one's grub in one room. One room, Robin.
So what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for far too long, and that these redistributions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fussle's sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Well, you've asked the right wordy question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. Oh, I wonder what happened to him.
Wow.
Daddy tried to shoot him in the buttocks and he ran off into the woods.
Seems I'm mostly censoring
My last happy memory, Robin.
words that I've never heard before.
Tragic, but what can you do?
We will rise and rebel. We wage war on our revolting rulers with righteous words and rebellious
Like if this
writings.
was
Our best guess and our
alliteration
quest to
bonuses
divest
for,
our
on a
West
word
and our
game,
West
this lad has won it hands down.
Daddy! Daddy, it's
Daddy!
starting!
Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Right, you buggers! Carry home! Tilly! Get the dog!
Tilly's our mummy. She's proper cracked off too.
Well, at least you are showing
Why are
some
we not
shame.
able to go back to the studio?
Bentley,
Okay.
glad to meet you. See, the protest has started already. Nice sharp work, boy.
With this sort of thing.
For me, you know.
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be fudding well heard, that's all.
Language, Penelope. We are nude, not ruse.
Sorry, Daddy.
We want the world to realise we won't roll over and run away. We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will. Stuff and piff pop.
What was that?
Are you okay?
Daddy, how could you?
Well, shut up and get your
Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one in the toxins, it's back to you in the
get the
studio.
dog.
I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in Moderate Hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. Well, that's certainly a story we want to be keeping an eye on, eh, Megan?
Speak for yourself there, Jeremy, but I've seen enough shaft work to last me a lifetime.
I'm sure you have. But can a naked protest movement ever really catch on? It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a very different place.
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
Oh, sorry, I'm busting.
Oh,
She's funny.
Yes, I know. I think it's very endearing.
She wants your job.
She's welcome to it. Why is it raining on my desk?
Alex, Booton, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
On the bladder. This can cause trouble starting to pee, and it can cause laundry-based trouble between you and your shoe dealer of an ex-wife. So what caused this big old prostate? As you get older, your body changes. And that's okay.
Did we ever figure out what the music thing was that Dave was talking about?
That's what it says.
Yes, I understand that, but I always say welcome back.
I think we should just keep it as it is.
Well, of course you do. I've got one hack line.
What's that supposed to mean? I didn't write it, Jeremy.
That's all right, fine. Jenny, there's something wrong with the auto cue.
10 seconds.
Oh, I just felt a drip again. Have they not fixed this?
I want to see us fry. It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You joined me live here for the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Ellie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the lanky hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, it's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. And, Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brain. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris.
What am I even watching?
Number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throwing it under her legs. Not bad if you ask me. To Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Football. Move back. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section, it's time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course, now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense.
What?
Striker giving it large.
Second round, Striker giving it large. Harris.
Winter round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. Apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. You appear to have slogans across her breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that. Security, I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow because it's quite an eyesore, and women's bodies. Yeah. All right, great. Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that the fitted thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the Heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound.
What?
Excellent bit of play.
Does anyone even know what this is?
I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastering display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something.
Wait, what?
Harris's
Did I miss a censor opportunity?
And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, the boys said that. And after all, it is a game of 2 halves. 4 rounds and 7 subgenres. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Billington Smith. On my whistle. Nice piece of music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display for all to see, and ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dance interlude there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security's on it, and the bucket has been knocked over. I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again.
Final poses. Ball boy cannot be in the final pose. Ball boy cannot be in the final pose.
And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these two players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't.
Thank you.
Not bad.
Hurt is going on here. Hey.
So that ball boy's giving me the eye all day. I don't know what's going on there. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. Got what I wouldn't give to be that ball, am I right, ladies? Got what I wouldn't give to be that ball, am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because of course if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to Striker. And Striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course perhaps... And yes, Harris has countered him with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mug. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Harris receives possession now.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. Here we go. Tommy Harris.
This is some weird shit.
That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact. Caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like, I mean, this is a mess now. I don't know what I can be doing about this. I mean, sort of breasts and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much I can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they? I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. What's going on here? Yes,
missed censor.
Yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters. Oh, jog on! It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go anywhere at this point. Really high-level play here from 2 absolute juggernauts of the sport. Hold. The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she's spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on from Striker. But she's in it to win it. On it like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! What a fantastic
nice timing there.
Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic... There we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please. And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship Championship is... Everyone!
Okay, the ref has decreed once again a win for everyone, including me at my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon, looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all is left to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon there had an extraordinary final.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shocked me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shocked me. Where's that sound guy?
Children, are you scared of a long, painful decline in your final?
Everything okay?
Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now, apparently.
You'll be fine. You're unshockable.
I'm immune to your cheap flattery.
I'm wearing you down.
Bozeman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance. The storm is playing havoc with the electrics, and you might notice the odd spark. Nothing to worry about. Happens all the time. Dave got shocked into a coma last year, but he was up and at 'em the next day. Anyway, our compensation package is parallel to none. Good luck. Bozeman out.
Sorry about all these buckets. We seem to have sprung a leak. Well, several, actually.
You're going to need a whole new lining up there.
We'll look into it.
Minister, it's so good to see you again.
Miss Wolfe, your star seems to be in the ascendant. It's a great time to be alive.
Too bloody right, Peter Clement.
Megan Wolfe.
My, but that's a firm handshake you've got there.
She's tougher than she looks. Am I here?
Here, with Mr. Clement on your left.
Right you are, pet.
And we are 15 seconds out.
Is your seat down?
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
Cheeky cow.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers most. You know,
people
Whingers most.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to win.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
Someone's dripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death, Pet. He's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that advance has cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera?
Oh, sorry, yes, it's
Which is me close-up camera?
Camera 4.
My mum came and got me from school. He had to go to the hospital. My granddad, he'd collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I live.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope. 3 days later, he were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He wouldn't even wait till half time. He wouldn't even wait till half time.
Sounds.
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away, and he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't. Or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
This microphone package just given me an electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think it's from my asshole.
Are we still on the air, Peter?
Yes. Sorry. My apologies.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got sapped again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Jesus, so face, fucker! That one was massive! Right, no, this bastard's coming off!
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and
There's a sound guy trying to get the mic off of him.
With a rutty twat!
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a
And over to Jeremy.
It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
Good job, everybody.
Oh, what happened?
So they just... I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
It's my nephew, so let me transition them.
What happened? Was it me? Terra text day 153. And that concludes our episode 2. Thanks for watching and bye for now.